they're meant to be like a sneaky assassin type thing. They're Predator, okay? But if Predator's an idiot, because so it has the ability where it can just appear anywhere on the table because it's decloaking, and then the idea is that you charge it at something and it'll mess them up pretty badly. But the problem is that it can't. The turn that it appears on the table, it can't charge. So it's just stuck there, soaking up the enemy's shooting and dying generally in most cases.
Danny? Mitch, you'll be facing the man beside you, Brian O'Reilly. Remember, folks, 10 players, 4 rounds, 40 minutes each. I'll be starting the timer in 5 minutes. Good luck.
What I would generally call myself is a nerd, because I believe that nerds are those people who are passionate about minute topics like this, like Magic the Gathering, gaming, board gaming, wargaming, role-playing games, cosplay, all that. I would consider myself a nerd, so I would. For me, geeks would generally be academia-centric. They'd be passionate about like things like physics and chemistry and biology, zoology, quantum physics, astronomy, all that, such stuff like that. So that's what I would consider it. Me, I guess I could be a geek. I did study chemistry for 4 years, so I was kind of into that at the time. But mostly, I would consider myself a nerd, actually.
I will place him there. Completely avoid the fight with your big guy.
Yeah, but I figured.
I mean, sure. I'd actually consider myself more of a nerd than a geek, but if we want to get into that whole nerd versus geek argument, but consider myself more of a nerd than a geek because while I'm also interested in fantasy culture, I'm also interested in computers and working on computers and things like that as well. So, I mean, it depends on how you want to define geek and nerd. So.
Next out of there. Okay, you're good. Cool. Mike, negative 2? No.
I mean, I consider myself both a geek and a nerd. I mean, I kind of have memorized too many nitty-gritty details about a large array of just hobby-based things that I can't really get rid of that definition. I don't have to. Sure, I'm a geek. I'm a nerd. Both are the same to me.
Magic players, second round. Maciek versus Nathan. Mitch versus Rick.
I actually ran my
Kieran
tournaments
versus
for
Owen?
Yu-Gi-Oh here in Galway for a long time, years ago. But I met a lot of my closer friends playing Magic, and for me, Magic was, I played it because of my friends, because I had this method of socializing with people, and I feel like that's what a lot of people get into Magic for, is because it's social. You're sitting down around a table with 4 or 5 people playing a game with each other, having a laugh, trying to beat each other up. That's why I play Magic. That's why I started Magic, because of that. And then as I discovered more and more about the game, and as my friends themselves started leaving, I kept making new friends who were playing the game of Magic, and like the story and getting invested in the story and the cards and all the new things that were happening all the time. I just fell in love with the game because of those things, because of the story and everything, and that's kind of what kept me in it. Because I love it. I think everything about it is fascinating and great.
Next out of there. Okay, you're good. Cool. Mike, negative 2? No.
2 years ago, before trailers for it, if you said that you liked World of Warcraft, oh, you're a loser, you're a geek, you're a nerd, blah, blah, blah. Now with the Warcraft movie, random people on the street, you ask them, oh, what did you think about the Warcraft trailer? They'll probably say, oh, that was really, really cool, or something like that, and they're interested in seeing it. And it depends on, of course, what they're personally interested in, but...
I mean, sorry to interrupt, but I think like part of it is just the fact that hipsters have become kind of the large punching bag again, because turns out hipsters have like always been around since like the early 50s, and they're always the punching bag, but they're now like a greater punching bag because reasons. I don't know, social reasons. People they look strange and people decide to be mean to them. And I think it's just kind of distracted from the fact that nerds have just slowly snuck all of their culture into the mainstream. And I mean, the thing of being called a nerd isn't really so bad if you just decide to, yeah, sure, if you decide to own it.
It's like earlier today, actually. We were all sitting around, chit-chatting, having fun. The place was jam-packed with people. A couple of kids from whatever school down the road, secondary school, I think. We're standing outside, snickering, making fun of this place, making fun of everyone in here. And then they walked off, and the person who was working at the time, he was like, yes, let's make fun of a successful business, because that makes total sense.
This will go on until about 10:15, half 10. So if you want to ring for lifts, you know yourselves. Do you have any questions before you get started?
I work in a gaming store. I love everything about this. I remember reading once that a geek is someone who just gets incredibly passionate and excited about one very small and particular topic, and that they kind of lose themselves in it. Me personally, I'm absolutely a geek. I've spent, well, I don't, even forgetting about money, I've traveled to America for this game. I have collections spanning thousands of cards. In fact, I threw out about 3 black bin bags of Magic cards just the last day because it was just getting too much. I had to cut down a little bit, so I had to. I am absolutely geek. Geek for this, geek for board games, geek for pretty much anything, comics as well on top of that area sometimes. So often people always come up to me and say geek or nerd, interchangeably really actually. Because it's all kind of one culture in the end really. Just people who are passionate about the things that they love.